Gaming Manual.
The controls, overall, are stiff and imprecise, which is a significant drawback for any video game, but even more so because it's 4 different games and none of them feel good. Hey everyone, this is Josh from the Gaming Manual. On this episode of Rental Rejects, we will be taking a look at Bonkers for the Sega Genesis. To start with, this game is 4 mini-games. Each one has a bit of an arcade feel to it, which at first is kind of fun, but very quickly becomes tedious and repetitive. If this game had been released on the Atari or even the early days of the NES, it would be far more acceptable. But it was still a huge disappointment to have wasted my allowance thinking I was getting some kind of action-packed game for the weekend, only to end up with a mess of a game like this. You only have 4 types of levels, which repeat themselves, only increasing slightly in difficulty each time. So really it feels like there's only 4 levels in total. Like I said, very arcade in style, with some bonus levels thrown in every now and then, but we'll cover that more a little bit later. Because there's only really 4 types of levels, the layout themselves don't even change. It's hard to tell what difficulty you are in the level, since it's just repeating the exact same level, with slightly harder aspects to it. The layouts of the levels are static, so they don't change. The only thing that does change is typically the frequency of enemy encounters or things being hurled at you. For Harry the Handbag, the first villain you see on the wanted poster, you are trying to stop the thieves from stealing artwork by throwing donuts at them. You can only move left and right, with every button doing the same thing, throwing a donut. The hit detection can only be described as spotty, and that's just to begin with. Even worse is because you can't actually aim the depth of the donut when you throw it. It results in you sometimes missing a target that you feel like should have hit. Whether it's overshooting or falling short, it's always aggravating to have your shots miss because the game didn't register it as a hit. Unfortunately, this will become a common problem with the game as a whole, as we will see with the next villain, the Rat. This time, you can jump and throw bricks, but not as a means of attacking. Instead, you are trying to build a wall to prevent the machine from shooting junk at you or over the wall, which clearly it could still do. You know what? Let's not think about it. The number of jokes that can be made are too many, so just take your pick. The game's controls are straightforward, but feel clunky and unresponsive. The attacks and move, while functional, feel sluggish, negatively affecting the overall responsiveness of the gameplay. As you may have noticed, every time I jump, I'm constantly rocking the D-pad back and forth, left and right, to try to align myself to land where I think is a safe place. Combine that with the fact that you're using the bricks to build a wall, it doesn't come off as a fun game, but more tedious. For the third villain, it's Mr. Big. And it's a puzzle game where you have to find parts of one of your friends so you can rebuild him to disarm a bomb by pouring water on it. Very cartoonish, but again, let's not question the fact you could just do this without your friend. Personally, I find this to be the most boring of the 4 games, as you're just walking around and breaking open boxes. They even jump, so you don't have to search for which one the parts are in. Wait, didn't I say this was a puzzle game? It's definitely set up to look and feel like one, but when you actually start playing, you realize that this is nowhere close to a puzzle game. I don't even know what to classify it as. Now for the last one, it is Ma Tow Truck, and this one is actually decent, but that's actually because it's just Spy Hunter from the Nintendo. They didn't even try to hide it. The only difference, instead of an endless runner, is you need to destroy a certain number of cars, and then you have to run Ma Tow Truck herself off the road. Honestly, it just makes you wish you were playing the original Spy Hunter. Finally, let's talk about those bonus rounds. As you can see, it's basically a platformer, but with the jankiest controls that I've ever used. It's the same ones used for the rat villain when you're fighting his junk machine. It feels atrocious to deal with. You're constantly fighting the controls themselves as you jump platform to platform, and some of them are so narrow, it doesn't even feel like you landed on them intentionally, but merely just by accident. These are not fun at all, and definitely not what the game was designed to be. Now, the overarching game itself. The overall elements are relatively simplistic, but they don't offer deep engagement or innovation. Like I said, it's just 4 types of levels that constantly repeat. Despite the attempted variety that the game offers, enemies themselves can become very repetitive, leading to a very monotonous game experience, if you can even call this an experience at all. The controls, overall, are stiff and imprecise, which is a significant drawback for any video game, but even more so because it's 4 different games and none of them feel good. 4 chances to try to make one of them at least playable, and they are all equally insufferable. While the game tries to offer diverse concepts, the gameplay loop in itself becomes the main problem, as there is very little variation or escalation in difficulty. If you're a fan of the cartoon, you may find some nostalgic value, but at the very least, even then, you'd probably agree that this is a rental reject that you didn't want to waste your money on. This is Josh from the Gaming Manual. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Let us know of your opinion of the game in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.
Gaming Manual